Hey everybody, Brad Greenfield back here again for another one of our Excel 2013 trainings, and today we're going to be on this session we're going to be talking about manipulating text. And what I mean by that, we're actually going to be working through how to make text appear better in the cells that we have. So we have this table. It just has some simple data in it, and we're going to be working on doing a couple things with this data. So first of all, we're going to jump right in and start with this the title up here that we put ABC County 4-H Project Meeting Numbers. Okay, and again, just an arbitrary name that I threw on this Excel sheet for training purposes. So if I click in cell A1, as we've learned before, whatever's in the cell is going to show up here in this formula bar. So you can see ABC County 4-H Project Meeting Numbers is what shows up here in the formula bar. Now I can add something here if I wanted to, and then when I click down here, then we'll see what I added actually shows back up. So that's in A1. Now if I go, and this actually spans from A1 to E1, okay? But if I click on B1, you notice nothing there, nothing in the formula bar. C1, nothing in the formula bar. D1 and E1, nothing in the formula bar. In fact, if I double click in C1, there's nothing in there. So what's happening is this text is actually running over from A1 all the way to E1. So a good way to clean that up is going to be to merge it. Okay, so let's say that we want to merge it to make it fit and make it center above all of this data. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to click in A1, and I'm just going to drag all the way to I1. So I've got that whole entire row selected, and then I'm going to go in my home ribbon and I'm going to click on merge and center. Just so you know, there's some drop down options here. Merge and center, I can just merge across. I can simply merge the cells, or I can unmerge the cells if I wanted to. So I'm going to select merge and center, and what happens there is now A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, F1, G1, H1, and I1 are basically all one cell. Okay, even though they're still broken into columns, it's reading it kind of as one cell there. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is aligning text that's in the cell. Now we've seen some spreadsheets where the heading on the some labels on the table or on the spreadsheet are angled, and that's an easy way to go about doing that. Let's say you want to just add some flair or make something fit that maybe doesn't fit. So with January selected, I'm going to go into the home tab again, and into the alignment group I am going to click on the drop down beside this little AB with an arrow kind of angling up. So I have several options here. I can angle counterclockwise, I can angle clockwise, vertical up, rotate text up, rotate text down, format alignment of the cell. So we're going to stick with these top ones. If I click on align counterclockwise, then we see that January goes up like that. Now if I want to do all of these, I could just simply drag across, select all of them, click on that, and then click on angle counterclockwise, and it's going to make all of those angle counterclockwise. So that adds just a little bit of flair to our spreadsheet here, just to show you that we could also select them all, and we could have them go straight up and down if we wanted to. We could have them all facing downward if we wanted to. That's kind of hard to read. Counter or actually angle clockwise, so that puts them down. So you know, whatever method works for you, whatever you think is going to work the best, you know, by all means go ahead and do that. So now I'm gonna leave this just as kind of angling clockwise there, just so it looks good. So let's go down here into this empty cell, and we're going to type just some text in here and show you what we can do with wrapping some text. Okay, so I'm just going to type 4-H project Okay, so I got 4-H project or 4-H meeting occur every Thursday. Again, just some random text, just something so we have to work with. So what I want to do is I want to wrap that text so it all appears in cell B9. So I want it all to appear here. So this is kind of like what we did up here. There's text in cell B9, but if I go to C9, there's nothing, D9, there's nothing, and E9, there's nothing. Okay, so in cell B9, where I started typing everything, I'll have that highlighted, and I'm just going to click on Wrap Text. And what that does is it'll wrap the text so that it all fits in there. Now, it makes the row a lot bigger, so if you have some text maybe down the line here in this row that is only 1 or 2 words, it may look a little funny and a little difficult to see. So if we had, let's just say we did Monday meeting, if I spell meeting right. And then we did Tuesday meeting. Okay, so we see that those are cut off a little bit because they're wrapping, so we could even go ahead and wrap those texts if we wanted to, and clean that up a little bit. So it still doesn't look entirely the way that we want it to, or clean. You know, you may be happy with this and that's fine, but just to show you some options here of what you can do. As I highlight these cells, notice up here in the ribbon that they're all kind of aligned to the bottom. Okay, so all the text is aligned to the bottom. I can align them to the top if I wanted to, and that puts that text in the top. So if we had a text that wrapped and took up a bunch of room here, and we had text that didn't take up that much room, maybe in the top is a little bit easier to read, we could also put those in the center from top to bottom if we wanted to do that. Now let's say over here that we had some text or a cell, sorry, some text that was a little bit longer. And we'll just narrow this down so we can wrap this text a little bit. Okay, so we got some longer text here. We'll go ahead and wrap it so it all fits. Now let's say that we like that idea of having it kind of center from top to bottom, but let's say we also want to center it from left to right. So we have these options here right below that where we can left justify, which is the default. We can center it so that it centers everything, or we can right justify it. So we can move that text all over that box if we wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and leave it just right or center justified. So that looks a little bit better, and you won't tell it too much here because Tuesday in meeting and Monday in meeting are kind of the same, about the same size. You see it adjust just a little bit there. But let's say that we're typing some text and we know that it's going to be some text that we're going to ultimately have to end up wrapping. So we know that if I typed any more after we know right here, then we would have to force it to wrap or it wouldn't all fit. So what you can do is there's a keyboard shortcut that we can automatically or manually wrap text wherever we want it to. So if I click on the Alt button on your keyboard, so Alt and then Enter at the same time, so Alt Enter, and then I'm going to do, after is, I'm going to do it again. Let me go back here. I think I hit Control Enter. So Alt Enter, and then Alt Enter again, and Alt Enter again, Alt Enter again. Okay, now by doing Alt Enter, what we did was we just manually forced it to wrap text. And again, if I wanted to center that, I could center it top to bottom, and I could center it left to right. So it all fits in there nice and neat. So that's it for manipulating some text, and we'll be back here again to discuss more Excel 2013.